back to the keeper by Hooper, who didn't gather. This one is full and has been swatted for 6 runs. Poor delivery there by Ambrose and correctly treated and aptly put away by Williams.
Yeah, that was indeed punished as it should have been. So good batting by Keswick Williams. He's looking the part as he did in the previous game he played against Falcon Breakers.
Yes, that was a very bad delivery there by Ambrose, and it was all the holidays for the year wrapped up. So if he didn't get anything, if Ambrose didn't get a gift from, if Keswick didn't get a gift from Ambrose on Whit Monday, which was a holiday here, he got one a while ago. Dead ball signal. 36 for 2, 1 to go in the 5th. Driven this time along the ground, down to Hoyt. He makes no mistake this time and shows that he gets the long barrier behind that one. And of course, nobody wants to drop a catch, and it's one of the worst feelings on the cricket field when you have done so, Stacey Young.
Yeah, indeed. But he can make up for it. He has to bowl as well. So he needs to be concentrated for when he comes on to bowl. He's a key bowler in his team's attack. He bowls well to the field set, and he mixes up his pace quite nicely. So he can make up for it with the ball. So he should be looking to do that. Haven't seen Delon Johnson for the day. We haven't seen him bowl for the day, have we?
Yeah, it seems like they have rethought their strategy, and he is going to be bowling some of the later overs. They may have had a rethink about what they have been doing so far in the tournament, and leaving their more experienced bowlers to bowl some more at the depth. And as we see Kensley coming in for his second over, he'll be bowling to Williams. Good length delivery, punched on the on-side of the pitch, gets a single. The bowler does his own feeling, 38 for 2 after 5.1. They are currently going at 7.35. They require another 55 runs to win off 29 balls. Still gettable in terms of the equation, but they'd have to bat well to complete it. A lot will depend on these two at the crease. So Joseph seems to be doing a surprisingly good job here, Stacey.
Yeah, well, they need to find an extra bowler if they are to head into the playoffs and be competitive against the other teams.
This one, he flat bats it down the ground. Cleanly fielded there by Ambrose, who fell forward as he fielded. Just checking his knee to see if he has grazed it.
Yes.
Single taken.
Yeah, so maybe they're looking at options because we saw they weren't able to defend in the last two at different times in the game.
This time he was looking for a big shot on the onside, striking the pad. So Joseph, who has only 2 deliveries left, he has only gone for 8 runs and has taken a wicket. Appeal there, but more of a token appeal. That one was going down the left side, and the batsman was also quite a way down the pitch. So 1 delivery left for Joseph, 1 for 8. And this one has been driven ferociously to the extra cover boundary. It's a shot that Carl Hooper would be proud of by Williams there.
Yeah, I was about to say, before he bowled that delivery, the last 2 balls, Keswick opted to come down the wicket a little bit. So maybe if he stays in the crease, he might be able to capitalize on some of those deliveries, which we see. He opted to stay in the wicket, give himself some room, a bit of cat and mouse game with the bowler, and then he got back into position and dispatched that 1 for 4. So well played by Keswick Williams. Good thinking from him.
Yes, it's 43 for 2 after 6. At this stage, the Southbound Breakers were 53 for 2. So of the next 4 overs, the Botanical Gardens Rangers require another 50 runs, exactly. So 4 overs, they need to get 50 runs. That's a run rate of 12.5. Is at the crease looking confident. They're still in with the possibility of making these runs as we see Denson Hoyt being introduced to the bowling.
Yeah, Denson Hoyt, I believe he will finish off with his 2, and you still have Delon Johnson, who hasn't bowled for the day, so we believe he'll also finish off for the Salpon Breakers with his 2 overs as well.
They have a change of plans. Delon Johnson will be brought into the attack for the first time, and apparently both Hoyt and Johnson will be bowling these last 4 overs.
Yeah, not bad. Usually they look at Delon as the wicket-taking option, so clearly Sunil Ambrose is thinking, I need to get a wicket here rather than try and defend. I need to get a wicket, so hopefully he'll be thinking Johnson will be able to get a wicket for him.
Smart delivery there by Johnson as Thomas was looking to give himself room, and the umpire ruling in favour of Johnson as far as the white call is concerned. Stacia.
Yeah, good thinking from Johnson. Batsman, he left his crease quite early, so it's a left-arm bowler. It's going across you, so it's quite easy. It's quite easy for Johnson to just bowl that delivery across him, away from his bat. So good thinking from him.
This time, slower, loopy delivery. Doesn't make a good contact. Mistimes it, gets a single. Disappointed with that delivery. Could have gone.
Yeah. We see the way Johnson is bowling. He's opted for a wide line of attack, which we've grown accustomed to from most teams at the back end of the innings, to bowl wide of the right-handed batsman.
This one seems to have come off the bottom edge as he is keeping that wide line, as you mentioned before. He has the benefit of having a left arm angle, so the line that you pick from the arm, by the time it gets to you, is actually a bit wider. And so sometimes that could be a little bit deceptive for the batsman who is looking to hit the deliveries at this point.
It looked to be a slower ball as well, wider and slower, so difficult to put away.
This one is chopped straight to the man at point, who doesn't release it. He was aiming at you but didn't, and they got a single. Brings Thomas back into strike.
Yeah, just 2 runs so far of these 4 deliveries, and the run rate required has just gone up to 14. Before this, it was looking like 12.5.
Smart bowling here by Johnson, showing his experience. And we go back to the game yesterday, and your call was for him to be bowling more in the latest part of the innings, especially when they are defending runs, to use his experience to try to defend the runs. And you know, they over started with a required weight of 12.5, and so far it has gone up to 15.16. Every dot delivery at this stage will put a lot of pressure on the Rangers. This one is hit on the ground, but only for a single. So at the end of the over, it is 46 for 2. 3 overs remaining. The required run rate is now fixed 15.67, and Johnson has only conceded 3 of the 7.
Yeah, good bowling plans, better strategy from the Salpon Breakers. Again, we must mention Jeremy Lane. He's probably the bowler that they were looking at to bowl at the back end. So it was easy for Johnson to bowl earlier, but now that he's not there, it's good strategies from the Salpon Breakers to have him bowl later. Now we see that he definitely, more than likely, be bowling the penultimate over which we saw he was only able to concede just 3 off his first over. So he will be hard to get away at the death from the Botanical Gardens Rangers.
So Denson Hoyt, as we thought, he will now come into the bowling the 8th over from the Beckway end. Interestingly, he's bowling from the Beckway end, and he has bowled by and large from the now decommissioned E.T. Joshua Airport end for most of the tournament, if not all his overs prior to this one. So it will be interesting to see how he adjusts to the change. He'll be approaching from the Beckway end in this over. And Ernell Thomas hits that one straight to Kenzie Joseph on the mid-wicket boundary. Was good contact, but he's hitting into the wind, of course. And Joseph was not going to drop that one.
As you see, Hoyt has a bit of a celebration there, similar to Keswick Williams. Something similar to what he usually does when he takes a wicket in the last CPL. But Ernell Thomas, I think the Botanical Gardens will be disappointed with his performance today. Having been there and soaked up a few deliveries, he should have been looking to bat through the rest of the innings and get his team across the line.
Yes, I think that is one thing that they have missing, and that is why Wayne Harper's wicket becomes very important, because he is the only experienced top order batsman that they have. Most of the other teams have maybe a couple who could, guide some of the youngsters in their decision making as they are at the crease. But Harper is already back in the hut. You have the captain Keswick Williams, but Thomas, you'll be disappointed with that innings going at a strike rate of 100, as we see Delpesh, who played a good cameo in their last game, coming to the wicket.
Yeah, we keep stressing upon that point. You need to have a batter that can bat through the innings for you, that can steer the innings for you, and we haven't seen that much from the Botanical Gardens Rangers.
Good delivery there by Hoyt, tucking Delpesh up, and it's a dot delivery. And Hoyt has bowled splendidly throughout the tournament, Stacey.
Yeah, he's a good bowler, deceptive. I think most batters will think, okay, this is the bowler we have to target, but he's really shown that he can match up to the big hitters in the tournament.
Good delivery again by Hoyt. And is that run out? Let's wait for umpire Abbott. Keswick is giving himself out, so he's walking off the field. That was very good work there, as you saw in his follow-through. He went quickly through to effect that run out there, Stacey.
Yeah, quick thinking from him. He got to the ball quickly, and all he had to do was hit the stumps. He had all the stumps to aim at, and he did not miss. So, really good play there from Hoyt, getting rid of Keswick Williams, who would have been a key batter in the next 3 overs, the next 2 overs to come, if they were to get anywhere close to this target. And it's looking a tough task for them now, Allenson.
Yes, it's looking a little bit beyond them. Not impossible, but highly improbable, given the way that their batting has gone so far for the tournament and what is required from here on. Almost, over 3 runs per delivery. And that is exactly what is the case at this point. So it means that the run rate has exceeded about 19 or so runs and over. And it brings Winston Samuel to the crease. 46 for 4 in the 8th. And another wicket taken by, Hoyt, this time not from his bowling, but via the run-out route.
Yeah, much better plans from Salpon Breakers in today's game. Having Delon Johnson come in much later into the innings, and that over before put a lot of pressure on the Botanical Gardens Rangers. So they had to do something extraordinary in this over. So far, the bowling team is on top of things.
And what I will say here, interestingly, as the Salpon Breakers look to be going to victory in this game, is that it seems as if they are sorting out some of the issues that they have been having, and this will augur well for them going into the knockout stage.
Yeah, indeed so, because you can't put on a score like 124 and not be able to defend it. Of course, having said that, the way Dylan Douglas and company approached that target yesterday was quite marvelous to see. But the Salpon Breakers would have been kicking themselves thinking, how did we manage to let them score that much? So they were able to work out that they need to have the more experienced ball at the death, and it's paying off for them today.
Yes, good analysis, but Delplesh will have other ideas. Strong hitter of the ball, and that one has been picked up off his toes. Ala Gordon Greenwich over square leg for 6. So can they win it from here, Stacey-Ann?
As you said, it's not impossible, but improbability. That's the thing here. Delplesh is quite capable with the bat, but it's a lot for him to do. That's the end of the over, and Dylan Johnson, he bowled a really good over before, and he'll be looking to do much of the same, keep the ball away from the batsmen. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in this next over, which I think usually is the definitive over in cricket. That's why it's called the penultimate over. So let's see what happens with this over to come.
Yes, that second to last over will be very important. They need 19.5 runs per over in order to overhaul this total. It has been a good disciplined bowling display so far by the Salpon Breakers. As Johnson will be bowling to Delplesh. Punches this one straight to Hoyt, and he's not going to drop this one. He dropped a catch earlier in the innings, and I think that one basically is a nail in the coffin, because Delplesh was the one who would be able to clear the boundaries more frequently than some of his peers, and with his dismissal, I think that's really the end of all the hopes for the Rangers in this game.
Yeah, really good bowling from Johnson. Continue with that wide line of attack. Delplesh, he opted to go with the delivery, but unfortunately straight into the hands of Hoyt, who makes up for his drop catch. I told you it wouldn't be long before he makes up for it. He got a wicket, and he also had a run out, and now the confidence is beaming, and he took that catch quite comfortably.
Yes, that's very, very true. And it brings young Rashawn Lewis to the crease, young man. And let's see how he goes in this innings. Not much of an opportunity in the tournament for him. Hasn't had many chances to bat, but let's see how he goes for the next few deliveries. And perhaps he'll get an opportunity as well in that 5th place versus 6th place.